folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast, episode 40. My name is Ruth, and I'll be your host. As my returning listeners will know, that my podcast is mostly about the fibery things that I do in my life, knitting, crocheting, spinning, and also I keep some sheep on a very small farm in Vermont along with my husband. And I use their fiber in my projects. I also share it with others. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. It always is encouraging to see new viewers and things and people checking out my channel. So I really appreciate that. If there's something that resonates with you, feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. It's been almost 3 weeks since I've last podcasted, so it's been a minute. So if I seem a little, out of practice, that's what that's all about. I will be going over some crocheting today, some knitting, and also a little bit of spinning. If I have enough time, I'll get to that. So it's been kind of snowy on and off here in Vermont. We had a little bit of a thaw. The snow's gone away. We've had some rain. So now I think we have about 1 or 2 inches on the ground now. So it looks like winter, but it certainly is not keeping within what we normally have here as winter in Vermont. But so it goes. You can't really do anything about the weather now. It's supposed to get cold again this week. So anyway, we're going to get on to the content here. I usually start with crochet, and I wanted to first kind of tie up some loose ends, so to speak. No pun intended. I've been showing to you what I have on right now, which is the granny stripe shawl by Crochet Objet Knitting. And this is like truly finished. The last time I showed it, I was wearing it, but I still had ends. All of the ends have been tucked in. And this is a shawl that I made from the little skeins from one of my advent calendars. This was a true gradient done by Unique Sheep Yarns, Laura Lowe, and she has a lovely yarn dyeing business. And I really enjoyed watching these colors develop. So yeah, that's the granny stripe shawl. This is blocked, finished, ends woven in. I should take it off and show you once again the full glory of it. It looks different from different angles. When it's up close, you can truly see the gradient, and then if I show it to you like this, you can see kind of chunks of color. But yeah, so there's that. It really is a beautiful shawl, and you can wear it a number of ways. I had it tied up, but the last time I think I had it just around my my shoulders like that. So, and I wanted to. I was talking with a friend and saying that you don't use up the entire yardage of the little skeins you get in the advent on this shawl. Especially at the beginning, you have quite a bit left over because this is the shortest part of the shawl, and that's where you start. So I kind of just wanted to have a little, show and tell about what I'm doing with the rest of the, the leftovers from the advent calendar, because I think a lot of people, first of all, struggle making a decision about what to do with their advent colors or yarns, and then when there's leftover, there's also a struggle as to what to do with them. So just a couple of patterns I thought I'd share with you, one of which I've shared before here on the channel, and it's called the Crochet Memories Blanket, and that's a pattern by Siegmund. It is available on Ravelry, and it is, I think, $1, which is such a bargain. And Hannah has her own podcast called the Cozy Cottage crochet podcast. But what I've been doing is working some of the leftovers into my Crochet Memories blanket, and I just wanted to show you how I was doing that, because I have Advent yarn left over from a couple of years ago as well, so I'm trying to work that into things as well. This is a very nice blanket. I have it right now on my couch, but eventually I'm hoping to have it on my bed. So as you can see, they're all squares. Each square is, obviously the Advent yarn. I started, let's see, with the Advent yarns down. Let me turn this around the right way. So this was the very first Advent yarn, this one up here, and it's there, so that I would put one Advent yarn in from this year and then one from another year, just to separate it out a little bit. So this was day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and I just put day 7 in. So I'm coming into this section in here now. Day 8 is another green before it goes into this bluer section as the gradient goes. But as you can see, it's really got a lot of nice drape to it. This is a corner to corner square, so you're actually working the square and attaching it at the same time. And Hannah has some really great videos that you can watch on her channel as to how to attach the squares as you go along. But it's very simple. If you can do granny stitch, you can do this this technique. So yeah, it's getting quite large. I'm just gonna back up a little bit. All of these are leftovers from sock projects, from sweater projects, you name it. It's in this blanket, hence the name Memories Blanket. So you can actually look at each color and kind of recall which project you use that yarn on. So this is very warm. I'm keeping it, like I said, on the couch next to me so that I can add squares in as I go. But this is kind of my pile of yarn right now in this box. And it's also home to another project that I'm using the minis in, and I'll show you that in a second. Let me just put that down there. So even after using the yarns in this and the yarns in the Crochet Memories blanket, I still have left over. The minis are over 80 yards. I think, yeah, it's 87 yards per mini. So there is quite a bit of yardage in the yarn balls that you get. So this is what I have left after doing that and this other project, which I want to share with you. This is a blanket project, but the jury's still out as to whether I'm going to keep it as a blanket project, because I kind of like the concept and was wondering whether I could extrapolate it out to a worn garment. This is the Battenberg blanket by Sandra Paul. Sandra also has a podcast that is called Cherry Heart. And she does go by Cherry Heart, I believe, on Instagram as well. So as you can see, this is a blanket she designed to very much mimic a Battenberg cake, which is a popular confection in the British Isles. And she even says here on it, good enough to eat. But she's used a whole lot of different squares. A solid granny square is what she's using. She shows you how to make the squares, and then what's very clever is that when you start to make the in-between squares, the white squares, she shows you how to join everything so that you don't have to do any sewing. So I started making some of these squares, and so here's the beginning, this beginning part here of my shawl. And as you can see, went right down the gradient here. So yeah, it's kind of like a deck of cards. So yeah, the idea is that I'll collect, make these. It takes about 15 minutes to make one. And once I have a whole bunch of these and a whole range of colors, I'll be able to kind of parse out what I really want from this idea. But I think like it would look good as a shawl as well. And also I think it would look good as maybe a wearable, like a vest or something like that. So we'll see. I have quite a few blankets in my life right now as it is. So not sure whether I'll keep it as a blanket or use the idea in some other form. But yeah, I thought I'd show those two to you. There are plenty more projects on Ravelry, and you can do a search for Advent yarn projects, and there are a lot other projects, even in knitting, to use up your minis with. So just wanted to share that with you. The next project I wanted to show you, I also had somewhat done the last time, and these are the Perfect crochet gloves, but I wanted to show you that I got both of them done, and they have been used, so they are a bit fuzzy, but these are a pattern by B.Hooked, so it's B.Hooked, and I believe her name is Briana, but she has a channel here on YouTube as well. These gloves use the central single crochet stitch, so it looks very much like knitting when you're looking at it, and it has quite a bit of stretch to it too. So, I know sometimes crochet gets a bad rap for not being as flexible as knitting, but I'm here to tell you that you can truly make a pair of gloves that fit very well using other stitches in crochet. So, and one of them being the central single crochet. They also call it the split single crochet because you're going into that middle V of the single crochet. And also they call it waistcoat stitch. And it really lends itself well to color work, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But this yarn is John Arbon Yarnadelic. It's a sport weight yarn. This is Sunflowers in My Garden. That's the colorway. I showed these to my mom when I went to visit her a couple weekends ago, and lo and behold, she wants a pair now too. So I had her pick out a color, and I'm gonna stick with the same yarn because it's good to, especially if you're making a gift and it's still winter and you want it to be done while it's still winter. You don't have to do a gauge. So if you stick with the same materials, it makes it easier. So this is Yarnadelic, once again, from John Arbon. This is the Nobody Knows colorway, which she picked out to go with her black coat. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking on that. Another set of gloves for my mom. She actually tried mine on and they fit fine. So I'm just going to keep it simple, and it'll be all easy. So while I'm on the central single crochet, I wanted to show you something that I started. I think a long time ago on this channel, probably when I first started out or right thereafter, I showed this pattern of socks called the Woodland Walker socks. This is by a different Briana. This is Briana Kepner. And these are done in the central single crochet as well. But as you can see, they have some color work going on in them. This yarn, I got the yarn that is stated in the pattern. It's Valley Yarns Huntington by the Webb's Yarn Company, right here in New England. And these are the socks these worked up really fast, which I'm a little surprised by, because I feel like, you know, this stitch especially slows me down quite a bit. But this is central single crochet in the toe. So you can see all those little V's there, kind of mimicking stockinette stitch in knitting. And then in the foot, there's a variation. There's a central single crochet alternating with crocheting, single crochet in the back loop. So that's how you get this nice texture here. This is an afterthought heel sock. So we left a little place for the heel to go later. And then, of course, this is all straight stitching, colorwork stitching in central single crochet, which I just adore. And it just goes to show you that if at first you don't succeed, right? I struggled with this stitch for the longest time, and now it seems to be moving along better for me. And it just required a little bit of practice and muscle memory too, and working with it with my hands long enough to really get into a rhythm with it. So these are great. I love them. And like I said, I'm going to finish them off soon, just this one. There's a few more rows of color work up here, and then we'll be doing the contrast color cuff for that. And then it's on to the second sock. So wish me luck, second sock syndrome, you know me. So it's an issue. And that's why in knitting I do two at a time. But in crochet, you could probably do them in tandem. Like if you had another same size hook, you could split the yarns and do them in tandem. I just elected to start this one to see if I could really succeed with the color work, and I did. So that's good. So yeah, that's the Woodland Walker socks by Briana Kepner, and that pattern is available on Ravelry. And then finally in crochet, I wanted to show you my progress on the Kiera zip. This is the Kiera zip pullover by Courtney Clark of Tinderbox. And let me see, there's the picture. So that's her there. So this is a pullover with a half a zip. And I am doing mine in Barocco Vintage Decay in this lovely green color. And I just want to show you my progress. I have split for the sleeves, and I'm now doing the body. So the bodice is done, and the body is a different stitch from this textured stitch up in the bodice. So that's the front, all connected up now. This is where the zipper will go, obviously, and then the back is looking like that. Little wrinkled up. Everything comes out of my bags wrinkled because I put it away wrinkled. Yeah, so this is kind of tooling right along. It's half double crochet, so that goes fairly quick for me. And this, I think I went down a hook size. Yeah, I'm using a 3.75 millimeter, which is an F-size hook. And it's, like I said, Barocco Vintage Decay. And the color is 21174. So yeah, moving along with that. So lots of crochet on this episode. Some of you may know that I work for the Woolly Thistle, and I also on occasion will film a small segment for their shopcast, just to bring crochet out and educate people about using woolly wools with crochet, because a lot of times I think there's this thought that woolly wools are only for knitters. And I can't tell you that's no further than far from the truth there. I love using the nice woolly wools in my crochet garments. So, and I think everybody else should too. So on to knitting. I just have a couple of updates. I'm actually working on 2 fingering weight sweaters. So when you're using thin yarn, it takes a while to you know, get through them. So I was hoping to get more done on my halftone pullover. This is something I've been working on for quite some time now. This is a knitted pullover, and this is by Kim of Indigo Knits, and that's her right there. And she has done this up in a JNS, so I decided to keep with the whole JNS theme. And let's see, I am using a cone of, this is number 203, and the blue is FC37. And when last we spoke, I was still on the sleeve. Well, I'm still on the sleeve. But I'm at a point where I'm just knitting round and round and decreasing down to the cuffs. So my colorwork section is done. It mimics the one in the body here. And the bottom of the sweater is a lot more wrinkly and whatnot and looking wonky because this is cone yarn. It still has the spinning oils in it. And once it's washed, it really fluffs up and becomes a lot softer. So yeah, there is my sleeve so far. I'm using number 3 needles for the sleeve, and once I get down to the cuff, I'll go down to number 2s. But yeah, this is a top down, so you can try on as you go. And then once I have that sleeve done, I'll go over to the other sleeve. And the great thing about this sweater is there's really no finishing to it. So once I cast off on the sleeve, all I need to do is block it and wear it. So it's nice sweatshirt type feel to this fit of a garment. So yeah, that's the progress on the halftone. It's a fun make. It's a time commitment because of the fingering weight yarn. All right, and then my other knitting project is Nordic Nights, and this is a top-down sweater as well. I love top-down. This is a design by Jennifer Steingass, who has beautiful designs, and I was able to split for the sleeves. So the yoke color work is done. I should show you the pattern here, or the pattern picture. Jenn has done hers up in a darker colorway. And mine, of course, is lighter. So the trees are done in a hand spun that I spun from roving that I obtained from Dirty Girl Yarns here in southern Vermont. And then, of course, the yellow, I went with a Maine yarn. This is Maine Yarn and Fiber Supply Company. Just Maine Yarn and Fiber Supply. And yeah, this is a fingering weight colorway called Dutch Mood. Yeah, and this is merino wool and nylon. It's a nice gold color. And I'm really happy with the way this is coming. But now I'm on miles and miles of stockinette until the bottom of the sweater. And then when I go to the sleeves, you can see there's color work at the bottom of the sleeves in this one. Jenn Steingass's patterns differ in that way. Sometimes she puts the color work at the bottom of the sweater, and sometimes she puts them in the sleeve. So this one is the one that has sleeve detail. So yeah. So once I block this, it's going to smooth out and look a lot better. Okay, and finally in spinning, I just wanted to show you that I did indeed got a project done. This is a fiber from John Arbin Textiles. I got this from the Woolly Thistle. This is 100% Corriedale in the colorway Canta de Osana. And I spun this up. I actually spun a little bit extra that I found somewhere it was hiding. And and I actually got this all set to go. There's 2 skeins that need to be soaked yet and blocked. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I think I might have shown this before on the podcast. I have a bit over 600 yards of this and thought I would try to do a garment with this as well. Kind of like a slip over vest. I'm trying to get a handle on what weight it is. I want to say it's a DK. So hopefully I can get a vest out of this. I think I can. But I still want to measure it and make sure that that's indeed how it's going to work out. But yeah, it's very nice. Corriedale is nice to work with. I did a worsted spinning on this, and then I did a chain ply, which is a 3-ply ply. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, so that's 3-ply on that chain ply. And yeah, so hoping to get something made with this sooner or later, possibly later. But yeah, that's my spinning, and I'm so glad that that is something that I accomplished thus far this year. So that is going to do it for me. I'd like to know what you are all working on here in the new year. Let me know down below in the comments. I'm always grateful for comments, and I love seeing them. Try to get back to you right away with replies. And yeah, so if that is something that you're up for, please do. And like I said, like and subscribe. That's always helpful. And I will see you the next time. Keep crafting and take care. Bye-bye now.